Every Disney vacation is expensive, but how about spending $15,000 on one dinner? Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. It is time to peek inside the ultra expensive, super exclusive 21 Royal dining experience in Disneyland. This is the most expensive meal you can have in a Disney park. This is where you and 11 of your friends can dine on a multi-course feast inside a place virtually no one who visits the theme parks gets to see. So what does that major price tag really buy you? And what really goes on in that mysterious suite just above Pirates of the Caribbean? Well, we're gonna head up there and see. We've done a similar video to this before, but this time we were actually allowed to take video, so it's not just photos. Hooray! What does a $15,000 meal actually look like? Well, only 12 people are allowed to dine at the 21 Royal each night for a 5-hour-long extravagant feast. This isn't just a dinner either, it's a whole evening that starts with your arrival at the Grand Californian Resort, where you'll be picked up by your private VIP valet. You're whisked off to Disneyland Park, driven backstage, climb up and over the berm, walk across the railroad tracks, watch out for the oil on your fancy shoes, and then you're guided over to 21 Royal, where you'll take an arrival photo with your group before heading up to the living room for a signature drink. This is when you'll hear the ground rules. You can pretty much go anywhere you want in the apartment, and it's encouraged that you explore. You just can't literally get into the beds or take a bath. But you can take your time and check out the space if you make it in there, because there are so many hidden details and secret effects and tricks. I'll get into some of those in just a bit. Then it's time for cocktail hour in the courtyard, though you're free to wander around the entire space during that time as well. The 21 Royal Fungineer, Paul, makes drinks, including the 2 signature drinks, and there is no limit on alcohol during the cocktail hour. There are past hors d'oeuvres during the cocktail hour, so you have something to snack on. We had some mashed potato puffs, and they were unbelievable. I actually asked for more and they brought me a whole plate of them when we got to our table. And you've got 3 butlers for the evening, so if you need anything, just ask. After cocktail hour, everyone heads into the dining room. There's assigned seating and everyone has a personalized menu inside an envelope with a wax seal. The sommelier will come in to describe the wine pairings. They do offer mocktails for those who prefer not to drink or those who are underage. We did have an underage person at our table, so he got a bunch of different mocktails with each course. Then the chefs are introduced, and they don't spend too much time in the dining room, but the executive chef, this is Gloria right now, who has always been Andrew Sutton's right-hand person, comes out to explain each dish before it's served. Each course is about 20 minutes long, so dinner is a 2-hour experience. After dinner, you get to watch Fantasmic from the private balcony of 21 Royal, and besides the elaborate meal and gratuity and tax and those wine pairings and cocktails, that $15,000 price tag also includes park hopper tickets for everyone in your group, so you can hit some rides after the show if the park is open late. Now, before we dive into the meal itself, let's talk a little bit about the history of 21 Royal. This was not always an exclusive event space. In fact, it's had many functions throughout the years. The space was intended to be Walt's apartment in Disneyland, although the suite was still under construction when he passed away. This is where he was gonna move so that he had plenty of space for his whole family instead of the apartment over the firehouse. 21 Royal was originally known as the Disneyland Dream Suite. The suite is 2,200 square feet and features 2 bedrooms, a beautiful living room with a carousel horse, a dining room, a courtyard, and a balcony that overlooks New Orleans Square and the rivers of America. Up until 2015, you could actually win a night's stay in this apartment, kind of like how you could once win a stay at the Cinderella Castle Suite in Disney World. Before that, until 2007, the space was home to an art gallery featuring high-end Disney-inspired paintings. They also used to have a Fantasmic viewing package where you could watch the show from the balcony of the Dream Suite for around $65. That too stopped in 2007. Now you'll need to spend a lot more money to watch the show from that balcony. Oh, and I want to tell you about some of the hidden secrets of 21 Royal. Being that this was supposed to be Walt Disney's apartment, you can imagine there are some incredible hidden details and secrets in this space. The grandfather clock in the parlor has some amazing effects, and there's a real carousel horse there too, as well as a painting of Neuschwanstein Castle, which was the inspiration behind Sleeping Beauty Castle, and of course Cinderella Castle. The 2 bedrooms are completely different themed, of course, themed to Disneyland lands. The Frontierland bedroom is probably my favorite. There are 2 beds in here, here, and of course an ensuite bathroom, and on the wall there's a goodnight kiss button that triggers a toy train to ride around the shelves at the top of the wall. This room has a door to the balcony, and like I said, an incredible ensuite bathroom. I love the colors going on in here, that rich red and gold like you'll find in Frontierland, kind of the same colors as Big Thunder Mountain. And I could watch that train travel around for hours because every time I look up there, I see something brand new. My favorite part is that it looks like it's just supposed to be in a glass case, like it's just a display train. And then when you press the button, here he comes out of the glass case. I think it's very, very cool. Now the Adventureland bedroom, this is the master bedroom with a painting of a lagoon reminiscent of the Mermaid Lagoon in Peter Pan above the bed. Everything is very tropical in here. Lots of ambiance, very cool lighting effects. You've got blues and greens mostly in here. Now when you press the goodnight kiss button in this room, it triggers a special lighting that projects tropical leaves around the room and a water effect over the lagoon painting with stars that twinkle on the ceiling. And to the side of the bed, the moon appears with a silhouette of Captain Hook's pirate ship. You're also going to find some tiki birds in here. There's a lot to explore and a lot going on. Now the master bath is just as incredible with gorgeous stained glass over the jacuzzi tub. And when you press the button in here, you're going to see a hidden Mickey start twinkling in the stars over the tub. It's really, really cool, and it doesn't stay for too long. It disappears even though the rest of the lights still twinkle. The hidden Mickey goes away. Now this room also has a dressing area that's got some hat boxes. It's very cool. It makes you kind of feel like Lillian has just been there. Now speaking of hidden Mickeys, the dining room has a few hidden Mickeys you can search for. There are 4 really easy ones in the corners of the room and one that is quite a bit harder to find. Luckily you've got 2 hours in there while you're eating to look for it. All right, so we're in the dining room. Let's talk a little bit more about that meal. I've, like I said, been lucky enough to visit 21 Royal previously, and while both of my experiences in 2019 and 2022 were amazing, they were definitely a bit different. This time around, we were celebrating the 21st birthday of a friend of the family, so the vibes were more intimate. The food changed up slightly, and you no longer get to sort of call the shots as much as you used to be able to when it comes to the menu. You can make requests, but you're not as involved in the menu as you have been in previous years. Dietary restrictions and allergies are still well taken care of though. Menus are still seasonal and chosen based on market-inspired dishes, but they're a little more standard than before. And by standard, I don't mean it's subpar by any means. I just mean it's a little more consistently similar to the previous thing that was being served in that particular room. All right, so let's talk about the menu for our specific event. Like I said, we were celebrating the 21st birthday of a family friend, and I got invited to celebrate with that family. And this was in August of this year. So we started out with something that was really fun. They were called James Bond eggs, and it was golden Osetra caviar, then what Gloria calls 007 eggs, and chive and creme fraiche. And we asked what the 007 was all about. And the 007 eggs are basically just absolutely full of butter. They're almost like whipped eggs. Not something you would expect to eat as an appetizer at a meal, but they were super silky, just wonderful. And then of course with the caviar with all that kind of saltiness and different textures and stuff. So that was what we started with. The next dish was called Bounty, the sauteed skate wing with king crab crepe and Patagonian king crab essence. Then we went to the braised chanterelle, morel crisp, Brentwood corn velvet. That was called the chef's challenge. Moving on to the August moon, roasted pheasant roulade, black mission fig and ham. And then finally the entree, grilled prime porterhouse, potato cheddar espuma, braised Kobe, California chili sauce, and plum relish. And then what's next is called Bring the Noise, which is when they brought out the birthday cake. So that's pretty much what we ate that night. I think probably the things that were over the top and absolutely incredible that really stayed with me were those 007 eggs, which I did not expect to like as much as I did. And then of course the entree, that grilled prime porterhouse, was absolutely huge and gorgeous. And this particular person who we were celebrating is a big steak fan. Every time I have dinner with him, he gets steak. So I'm glad that that was his birthday meal. Now, overall, the meal is very rich. It's extravagant, and you are bound to fall in love with some of those courses. And of course, everything's served with a different wine or a champagne as well. So is a meal like this really worth it? 15 grand, that is a lot of money. And it's a tough question, and I'm sure many of you are screaming right now that anyone would spend $15,000 for a dinner. But let's put that into perspective, because this meal can be a lot less outrageous than you might think, believe it or not. $15,000 is of course spread across all 12 of the people there. While other Disney dining experiences like Victoria and Albert's and Disney World certainly fall under that category as well, V&A's can be considered for a special occasion dinner, while 21 Royal is much more of an event. My most recent visit was to celebrate a milestone birthday, but this is also incredibly popular for extravagant baby showers, rehearsal dinners, even small intimate weddings. People often shell out big bucks for event spaces to host these kinds of events, and if you look at the setup of the evening, a full cocktail hour before a 7-course dinner, followed by entertainment, all while in a private VIP suite and park tickets, you're getting a lot more than a fancy meal. If you decide this is the right experience or venue for you and for your big event, reservations open 6 months in advance on the first of each month at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Anyone can dine there. You don't have to be a VIP or part of any Disney affinity group or Club 33. To make a reservation, you can call the 21 Royal Concierge at 714-300-7749. And when I asked about who actually does book this place, I kind of figured it was going to be all corporate events and stuff like Christmas parties or something like that, but I was told it's often families who are celebrating these big milestone events in their lives, a graduation or a big anniversary, things like that. That is often who's booking 21 Royal, and because you don't have to be part of a special affinity group, anyone can book it. It's a really special experience that if you've been saving up to celebrate, it's a very exclusive memory that can for sure be once in a lifetime. So that was the experience of my meal over there at 21 Royal. Again, the people who are in charge of this are truly wonderful. They're fun. They're interesting to hang out with. They are happy to answer questions and talk about the space and talk about the history of the space. So don't forget to ask questions. Don't forget to kind of get to know them while you're there. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.